This is a presentation of the Sports Source Digital Network, presented by Hearthside Bank.
Welcome into the Sports Source Digital Network. This is a show we call 5 Questions. We do it every Friday. It goes up kind of to get you ready for the Tennessee football game on Saturday. We'll, of course, be doing the Sports Source Saturday kickoff to get you ready. There'll be an hour-long show that comes up tomorrow, 11 a.m., here on the digital network. You can watch it on WATE in Knoxville. You can watch it on CW Nashville at 10 a.m. Central Time. That's tomorrow for the Sports Source Saturday kickoff. I'm John Pennington. That is VFL Marlon Walls. That is John Wilkerson. That is VFL Ollie Lane. 5 questions. We always start with something that ties into the opponent. There's not enough history here. Usually I do who's somebody you liked off that team and here's somebody you didn't like. I don't think there's enough history with Mississippi State to have somebody you like or don't like, so we're just going to skip it. I'm going to ask you something else. Do you remember a specific play from a Tennessee-Mississippi State game? And if so, what was that play? We'll start with the young pup over here. Do you remember any?
I mean, there's not a specific play that I can really remember off the top of my head, but I remember, I think it was the first time that I actually played him. I think it was that 19 season.
So you have played him. I'd forgotten that. Okay.
I think I played him twice. I don't know, like you said, it's
very
not a memorable history. Yeah. Hey, I got hit in the head a couple times. But I remember those games always being highly competitive, especially in the point in time where we were at Tennessee. Yeah. We weren't highly competitive. Mm-hmm. So those were Mississippi State, to me, when you played that game, those were one of the SEC games that you got to get because those are a gettable SEC team. When you play your Alabamas, your Floridas, your Georgias, all that, those are less gettable teams. And you put teams in categories. Mississippi State's always been in that kind of category for me.
Well, there's a reason. Look, all time, if you look at SEC records, they're only better than Vanderbilt. They are below Kentucky.
Yeah.
They are traditionally really, really bad.
It's the only team in the Southeastern Conference they have a winning record against is Vanderbilt.
Wow. I guess, it would have to be just Kentucky if it were anybody else. Yeah, so just Vanderbilt. Wow. Okay, Marlon, you played against the Bulldogs as well. Do you remember a play? Or do you remember a play from Tennessee playing them in some other game when you weren't in it?
No, I remember a couple plays when I played against them. We were down there. It was a crazy start. We started at like 9 p.m. Central Time, which never happens.
Yeah, that would have been an old ESPN2 game, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And then the 2 plays I remember, the one was Cordell Patterson. I think it was a kickoff return. Super electric, got the whole sideline going. We're in a away stadium. The cowbells are going, and so it kind of silenced them, and everybody kind of just took a moment and said, man, this cat is the real deal. That's when we kind of knew he's electric. The other one, we lost that game 41-31. My former teammate Devin Young dropped a punt return.
Oh, I'd forgotten
that. Was a huge turnover for us. Killed the momentum. It also wiped the game out. Game was done. We had no chance at winning at that point.
I was talking about that earlier today with somebody. He led the team in rushing that day. He had like 14 or 15 carries, but I'd forgotten the fumble punt.
Yeah, the fumble got us.
That one of those that you were in was the Derek Dooley broken hip wheelchair sitting on a stool game, wasn't it? Wasn't that Mississippi State?
There's no telling.
I seem to think
I got a lot of memories of Dooley. None
of them good.
He might have had orange pants on.
Yeah, he might have, like the Vols will tomorrow. All right, John, we turn to the ancient guys who remember some of these old Tennessee-Mississippi State games from the past. Have you got a play that comes to mind?
Sure enough, one of my very favorite seasons. It was one that started so unfortunately for Tennessee because you lose Chuck Webb at the start of it.
I know where you're going.
But then Tony Thompson puts together an unbelievable campaign because it was like, well, Tennessee lost its 1,000-yard rusher, and now what are they going to do? But one of my all-time favorite years for a running back. But they're playing Mississippi State, and lo and behold, and it's not like they were behind, but it's just timing is everything. But it would be Andy Kelly at quarterback, takes the snap from center, but the ball remains on the field. And then behind that, here comes Bernard Daphne. He picks it up and from roughly 30 yards out, rumbles in on the fumble Rooski, which has since been outlawed.
Yeah.
But yes, that play, Tennessee just kind of walked over him after that. But that was one of my all-time favorites. And I think Tony Thompson wound up 2 yards shy of 250 in that game.
Yeah, that was one of the great stories, and that was our old buddy who's always on Sports Source stuff with us, Mike Stoll. That offensive line was pretty good. Because that team had lost Reggie Cobb the year before. Then you lost Chuck Webb that year, and you got a guy, and everybody's like, Tony Thompson. And he wound up leading the SEC in rushing that year. But Bernard Daphne, the Fumble-Rooski, is exactly where I was going to go.
And rest his soul,
How many times can you remember a Fumble-Rooski? But also, all the time, we brought it up a few weeks ago about Tennessee, Memphis, and the guy's elbow was down. Bernard Daphne's knee was on the ground when he grabbed that football. If you remember, they came back and drew a little circle on it and everything. It's like, they didn't catch it. Touchdown. There was no replay back then. So, that was where I was going to go, but instead I'll go with one that was much more meaningful, and I believe that was T. Martin to Peerless Price. Fourth quarter of the SEC championship game, Tennessee. They got to beat Mississippi State and win the SEC to go to the Fiesta Bowl for a chance at the national championship game. They've trailed. I mean, that team was skin of its teeth all year long. That's why it's so beloved. Well, that and the national championship. But they always found a way to win. And I remember sitting with a buddy, went to Atlanta, didn't wind up going to the game, just wound up watching it in a bar down there. But Tennessee comes back late. I think they got 10 points in the fourth quarter, maybe 14, to come back and beat Jackie Sherrill and Mississippi State. So that's the Martin to Price touchdown to do it is the one that I remember.
If that's the play I remember, he leaps off and lands on the same foot. And I thought that's just the most amazing body control because his other foot would have landed out of bounds. But he left the ground by leaping off of his right foot and then landed on his right foot to make it a catch. I'll never forget that because I'm down. I traveled with Tennessee football less than frequently. So just happened to be down there, and John Ward's booth, the Vol Network booth, is here, and right next to it is the Mississippi State booth. Jack Crystal, legendary Mississippi State broadcaster, and as they have the upper hand, there's a call that goes against Mississippi State. I will never forget SEC legend raising up out of his chair and just giving one of these from the broadcast booth to the officiating crew down on the field. Wow. But it's like, pull for your guys. I will say this. I do have a favorite Mississippi State player, and that would be Knoxville legend D.D. Lewis.
Who recently passed away.
Yes. So he was a Fulton Falcon, great Dallas Cowboy. He was somebody who always did a great job when he came back home to have his golf tournament and everything. But yes, he was somebody that's like, wow. How he didn't go to Tennessee is still, unfortunately, a head scratcher.
Weird story. All right. Question number 2. The SEC has decided it will rotate conference opponents every year, guaranteeing that every school will face every other school at least once every 2 years. So it's not you play these home and then you flip it and play them on the road. No, it's every year they flip, which I personally love. My question, I don't know that Missouri still feels like an SEC team to this day. It took South Carolina and Arkansas, and I don't know about Arkansas. The Western teams to me don't feel like SEC. Carolina, I bought that one first, and A&M, even though that's Western, they're crazy. They fit this league. They should have been in this league 50 years ago. Their fans are weird, bizarro. It's just they fit perfectly. Oklahoma and Texas, it could take decades before they feel SEC to me. So the question here, by playing everybody, rotating it every year, do you think that's going to make them feel SEC sooner or no?
I'd say to a point because now you're actually getting to play every single opponent that's in the SEC, so you're getting a feel for the talent out there. Because, years past, Missouri really only got to play the East teams. If they were lucky enough, I think they played Auburn in a SEC championship game once or something. And so they didn't really get that feel. But I think, too, when you're looking at it like you're talking about, when Missouri came into the SEC and you go out there and play at Missouri, Missouri does not feel like an SEC school. I mean, it's the gateway to the West. You're in the West. When you go to a place like Texas and Oklahoma, their stadiums give you that, all right, this is SEC. Big time football. And I think that's what the main difference is. And I know everybody that's ever played in the SEC will say this. It does mean more. There's a difference in the atmospheres at an SEC game. And so I think this rotation will help them kind of get familiarized with the other opponents. I'm still, I guess, in the headspace where I enjoyed the East and the West divisions. I liked the way that it was broken up because I thought it created budding rivalries within each division, whereas now it's just you're seeing teams not being able to play each other again. Which is very, they will, but not as consistent.
Right, you don't have
used to it.
You're losing like Alabama, LSU every year.
Yes,
they're going to be every other year basically.
Yeah. Right.
John, do you think playing every year will help Tennessee? Will help? Well, let's just put it in that. Will it help a Tennessee fan more quickly adapt and understand and feel like, oh, Oklahoma and Texas, that's a good SEC rival? Or do you think, nah, it's just nothing you can do?
I really think it's the nothing you can do.
Really?
It just comes down now. It's case by case for sure. But I mean, myself, and again being the get off my lawn guy, I still think of Arkansas and South Carolina as carpetbaggers. I still think of A&M and Missouri as interlopers. Yeah. I don't even have terms for Oklahoma and Texas other than our doorbell rang and they were there on the porch.
Yeah, that's right. So they're not in interlopers and carpetbaggers. That's the first time anybody from South Carolina has been called a carpetbagger. Though they've used that term, I'm sure, quite a bit for them Yankees came down. Marlon, do you think playing them more regularly will make them more quickly feel like an SEC rival, or no?
I still say no, just because I take it back to the recruiting standpoint. We recruited against them so much to where it was like, well, we're in the SEC, you're not, so we're going to get this recruit. You don't level up to our program.
Yeah.
So now you know that sticks with you, and so now when you see them playing, it's kind of just like an awkward feeling. Like, okay, I know we got Texas coming to Tennessee next year.
Yep.
All right, that's going to be a unique football game, just because I can remember from a recruiting standpoint. Hey, we're in the SEC. Yeah. You're not in the SEC. We play better competition over here. So it's just it's a rivalry thing for me, just from a recruiting standpoint. I can't see it.
Yeah, I think it's and this may help, but I just think it's going to take a long time. Mm-hmm. Texas and Oklahoma, it's almost because they are so big. I mean, they were one ruled the Southwest Conference, one ruled the Big 8, and then they've ruled the Big 12 together. Mm-hmm. And it's just, like Texas A&M, they weren't the kings of a league, right? So I didn't automatically associate that league with Texas A&M. So I guess that's a little different just in my head, but I don't think – I think it's going to take a while for them to feel like they belong in this league, because the reality is they shouldn't be in this league. I don't think they should be in this league. If you were starting expansion today, when you're just looking for the right fit, not – well, first we were trying to find teams to do a championship game. Then we were looking for the teams with states that we could get our cable households. Yep. Now we're looking for – if you were just doing it today, starting from the old 10-team SEC, and you wanted to get to 16 teams, you go get Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, and you'd go east.
Yeah,
you wouldn't go west.
Eastern.
That's right. Yeah. So I don't think they're going to feel like they're SEC for a while. Question number 3. Well, I like this one. Tennessee has 5-star quarterback Faison Brandon coming to town next year. That's the plan anyway. Jake Merklinger might be back. George McIntyre might be back as well. Both of those guys would be inexperienced, so would Faison Brandon. Would Tennessee be better off going and getting a veteran quarterback, say like Joey Aguilar or Hendon Hooker, to run Josh Heupel's offense for a year? Now, if you do that, you may lose one of these other guys. But you could either turn it over to the young pup the way you did with Nico next year with Faison Brandon or one of these other guys, or you could go get somebody out of the portal who's a veteran. What do you do, John Wilkerson?
Well, it would make the most sense to make sure that you had break glass in case of emergency situation. Now, what they have said about Faison Brandon is that he, in his developmental stage, is further down the road now than Hendon Hooker was when he arrived as somebody who had years of experience under his belt at Virginia Tech in terms of his ability to throw specific passes. Now, again, sounds good. There's no substitute for experience, and he's also spent a good portion of this year on the shelf. So he's missed I think he's missed his senior year to this point. But anyhow, I do think, again, that could be the way to go, just to have somebody that you can go to, because you are still talking about, in all likelihood, zero experience or very limited experience from who could be a 3 or 4 man quarterback room.
What do you do?
I would say from a fan standpoint, it's you want Faison Brandon. Just because he's a homegrown guy, he gets that opportunity to become a homegrown guy. Yeah. Been in the system for a couple of years, you get to kind of watch him grow. But from a production standpoint, this offense says, go get an experienced guy. If you look at Hendon Hooker, you look at versus Nico or Joe, or which Joe is that's kind of the outlier. But if you look at this year with Joey Aguilar, this offense thrives with somebody that's more experienced, knows how to get the ball where it's supposed to go, has played a lot of college football, walks right into the offense. The offense looks more productive. I think with Faison, you're looking at how it was with Nico. Hey, we know we're going to get some ups and downs this year, but can we see some promise? And so now you get excited for the next year, only for him to jump in the portal and leave it. So.
Yeah, the decision making. I mean, that's what was a superpower for Hendon Hooker. It's what appears to be one for Joey Aguilar, and that is probably the biggest problem or biggest hurdle for a youthful quarterback.
Well, you just said it earlier. Well, you'll say it tomorrow in the Sports Source Saturday Kickoff. I have a feeling this will be in the Sports Source Saturday Kickoff tomorrow, and we'll all be wearing the same clothes. But you said it when we were talking about when we were taping that. You look at Aguilar, yes, he was at Appy State. He's been to Clemson. He played at Clemson. So we can sit there and go, well, he did play at a lower level. He did. Yeah. But he did have that Clemson thing. That's something that Faison Brandon is not going to have. So I think there's value. We have talked repeatedly about what is it that Heupel, why is he better with these under-recruited guys as opposed to these super recruits? You know, the Milton, the mouth-watering physique that, oh my gosh, look at the talent. And the Nico is supposed to be the guy. He's better with Dylan Gabriel. He's better with the unsung. Is he better with veterans? Is that the key? What are you doing, Ollie Lane?
I don't know. I'm thinking of it from different perspectives. And, I mean, I think one perspective you got to look at is the pocketbook. It's not endless. So,
okay, well, let's throw that out. Let's just you're right, but let me just throw that out. What would you do? Do you think they're better getting a veteran, or would you go with the 5-star or one of these guys who's sitting on the bench?
If you look at the history of it, you're better off getting the veteran quarterback because he's got experience. And even if it's not experience in your system, he's got experience of just being a quarterback at that level, because there is a difference in the speed of the game and everything else. But I think at the same time, you got to rely on your recruiting. I mean, that's what got you where you're at in the first place. And so I think when you got a guy like a 5-star Faison Brandon, and you'd like to have someone maybe that you already had there that you can roll out in front of him so he could sit here like you somewhat did with Joe Milton and Nico. Obviously, that situation didn't work out at all either way. But I think you got to continue to trust your recruiting process, because that's what a lot of college coaches like to hang their hat on, is we can recruit well. Okay. And so if you can recruit well, then you shouldn't have to pull veteran quarterbacks from the portal. You can focus on other areas.
Okay, 10-second answer to this one. I had somebody bring this up to me this week. I'm sure you've heard it as well. Nico Iamaleava already looking to transfer out of UCLA. What if the Iamaleavas came back and they said, we've learned from our mistakes.
We're sorry.
We want to return, and we will be the bridge quarterback to get to Faison Brandon. In a word, Marlon, if Nico and Papa Nico came back and said, we want to come back, what do you do?
Bridge is burned.
Yeah.
It's done.
Agreed.
We wish you luck in your future endeavors.
That's it.
Door in face. Door in face. All right. I don't think that would ever happen, but I've had a couple people mention that to me this week, and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath. Okay, question number 4. This is where we're going to reveal if we're really evil people or not. Question number 4, Oklahoma State fired Mike Gundy this week. He's going to get a buyout. His mullet will get a buyout. Twice, though, he turned down Tennessee and got raises to stay at his alma mater. So part of me is like, he got a raise off of it. The other side of it is he stayed at his alma mater. I recently found an article that he did where he said, I was offered that job about 3 different times. And they suggested he was offered it after Fulmer left. No. Mike Hamilton was pretty clear and gone down the Lane Kiffin. Part of the reason Fulmer was gone was he wanted Lane Kiffin. So I thought, okay, so you're actually saying they offered it to you more times than they did. So, John, offered the job twice, turned it down. Is there any part of you that takes some glee, takes some joy in the fact that somebody who turned down Tennessee just got fired?
A few years ago, yes. I would have laughed and pointed. At the same time, working in media. There but for the grace of God go I. So I don't revel in this. But I do fondly think of Michael Scott saying, oh, how the turntables have turned.
Yep. Oh. Ollie, any joy?
He's a man. He's over 40. I mean, it happens.
Nice.
As far as me taking joy in it, no, not really. I always kind of liked Mike Gundy. I liked when we thought we might get him. They were putting the mullet on the Vols logo and stuff. But, I mean, hey, this job's not for everybody. And obviously he didn't feel like he could perform for the fans here at Tennessee, so he decided to stay over at Oklahoma State.
That's it, yeah.
So.
And he stayed at his alma mater. I know there are people out there who are taking glee in it. I'm not one of them because the guys, never fun to see somebody get fired unless they're a real jerk.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to cry for Lane Kiffin if he ever gets canned again because he tries to be a jerk. Gundy's just Gundy. I don't think he was trying to be a jerk with UT. You offered him. He wanted to stay where he was. He got more money to not have to move. I think a lot of coaches would have done that.
See, I wouldn't have gone back down that path
Exactly.
to offer it to him again because it's like, all right, I get it. As you mentioned, he's at his alma mater, and it's like all he did was use you to get a sweeter deal. So I would never have rung his bell a second time.
Yeah. Marlon, any glee?
And there is glee, and that's the reason why. You used us. I thought Gundy was like a super arrogant guy. He'd say some stuff sometimes in the media, talk down about the NIL situation and how this is going on. So I won't say any glee, but at the same time, like I smiled a little bit.
Okay, good enough. Question number 5. Florida's head coach next year will be Billy Napier, Lane Kiffin, or somebody else?
Lane Kiffin.
Think it'll be Kiffin?
Lane Kiffin. I think he's built a pretty good resume over at Ole Miss. They're consistently in the top 25. To take a place like Ole Miss where he is recruiting-wise, he's doing pretty steady. I think this is the time. And then just to be honest as well, we knew Lane had his deficiencies, things off the field that bothered him and kept him out of jobs. I think he's proven that he's okay in that era. I think this is the time Florida jumps.
All right. Ollie.
I don't know.
Or do you want, again, Billy Napier, Lane Kiffin, or somebody else?
Yeah. Well, I definitely don't think it's going to be Billy Napier. But a guy that I personally would go out and get is Alex Golesh. I think Alex Golesh is continuing to prove himself as a really good head coach, and he's young. And I think, too, when you're looking at it, it depends on where Florida wants what they want, I guess. And obviously you want to win, but Lane's going to give you something that's tried and true. He's done it a couple times now at different programs. You're getting something new with Golesh. He's going to be able to maybe actively change the program just from a youthful aspect of it, new to the system of really kind of being the head of the room. So, that's the pick that I would go to. His offense is exciting. He's turned USF around dramatically in the past 2 years.
Beat Florida.
Yeah. And so, that's who I would go with. And you got to stay in state. So.
Yeah, just the thing that works against Alex Golesh is they just went and got Billy Napier.
Right. Yeah.
And they tried the up-and-comer. Of course, you flip-flop back and forth. They've also gone and gotten a proven head coach out of the state of Mississippi recently in terms of Dan Mullen, and they didn't like that. I'm going to go Lane Kiffin. He's been trolling Billy Napier online, which I think is incredibly weak. I don't understand why these coaches just don't unleash holy hell on this guy. Just, okay, you're going to come after me and make my job more. He did it to Hugh Freeze, talking when Hugh Freeze was getting guff about playing golf.
Yep.
Lane Kiffin's making jokes about it. I'm like, you're trying to come between me and my job?
Yeah.
I'm saying anything I can. I'm bringing up his family. Yeah. I'm bringing up rumors. I'm cutting him he's shutting up. So I'm surprised that nobody else ever goes back at this guy. That said, it's the personality that I think Florida would love. They want that kind of an a-hole. I think that, he's got family ties through his ex-wife who he's maybe back. I don't know. She's in Oxford now, I think. But Layla was the daughter of John Reeves, the Florida legend? I think that's the case. So I think Lane Kiffin makes the most sense for them. Will he leave? They just came out with an ESPN thing this week that showed that he was thinking about going to Auburn, and his kids put together a video that said, we've got it great in Oxford, don't leave. And he said, I don't know that I was going to go to Auburn, but as soon as I watched that video, I knew I wasn't. I knew I'm staying here. Would they do that with Florida where there are some ties? Yeah, and if he got paid enough, would he tell his kids, sorry? It's like, you're dating the LSU quarterback anyway, his daughter is.
Yeah.
So, I think it'll be Lane Kiffin.
I'm going to take other. And I do think that it's just going to, and I also wonder who's going to be making the hire. Scott Strickland has been there for a long time, and I have known him from the time he was SID for baseball.
At Mississippi State originally, wasn't
correct. Well, he's been there, and then he was, I think, at Kentucky earlier. But,
that's right.
But anyhow, I just think that he is a fantastic individual, but I also think since this has not worked out, he's had a couple of cracks at it. I sure hope for his sake that he gets to make the hire, but I do wonder, is that going to be something that will also change and what that could lead to?
Okay. So there we go. I've got one bonus question. 6 questions just for John. and actually it's just for me because I want to throw this theory out. So it's on record. I said it Monday on the radio. John, what's more likely? Bruce Pearl goes into politics, now that he's retired, goes into politics. Bruce Pearl winds up at ESPN as the new Dick Vitale, which I can't think of anybody who would be a better replacement, just part for part. He is the carnival barker that Dick Vitale would be. He's Mr. Energy. He'd be the right guy. Or he winds up talking sports and politics at Outkick for his old buddy Clay Travis. That is my guess. I've not heard that anywhere else. I said it Monday on with Tyler and Will on the radio. File that one away. I think he winds up at Outkick. You can make more money doing the politics thing and not having to actually do the politics.
That's right.
By doing it with Clay Travis. That's my guess. What do you think?
If I just to use with Tyler and Will their start bench cut, I would start that should Tommy Tuberville's Senate seat come open, that's the one that he will target. So that would be my start. My bench would be doing politics and sports radio with Clay Travis because I think that's a wonderful thought. And I do think that the cut would be being on with ESPN because I just don't see him changing what his behavior has been of late. He's been very outspoken and he's entitled to all of his opinions.
Right.
It's just that I don't know that he would quiet what he feels compels him to comment as much as he does to fit in with what would make ESPN much more comfortable with him being the next Dick Vitale.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing is, that's why I think the Clay Travis thing makes more sense. You can talk sports and politics over there, whereas Clay Travis has spent most of his life trying to make bones on the fact that ESPN is political in their commentary, which of course he is too, but for some reason that's wrong on there. But to me, and if you're asking me, I can say keep politics out of all of it. Thank you. Your left wing and your right wing can both be broken off and thrown. But my guess is Clay Travis. We'll see. You think, though, politics is where he's going to go. Do you really want that headache when you can make just as much money and influence the thing, probably as much or more? But until the Clay Travis thing popped into my head, that was my answer.
Yep.
Politics. But we'll see.
I think it could be 1 and 1A or 1A and 1A because the thing is, you go under the magnifying glass when you do enter that realm of politics. And we all know that there are aspects of his past that I think would just be blown up. And again, so many people have been in that same situation and been just fine with anything they've done, whether it be the world of sports or in politics. But I just think that you could be exactly right. It's a stronger setting because it just seems like that's the wheelhouse because you can comment on everything and you really don't have any repercussions.
Right. Just do whatever you want.
Yep.
So, all right. Marlon Walls, John Wilkerson, Ollie Lane. I'm John Pennington. Thank you for watching 5 Questions. Don't forget tomorrow, 11 a.m. on WATE6, 11 a.m. right here on the Sports Source Digital Network, 10 a.m. on CW Nashville. You can catch the Sports Source Saturday kickoff. Then Sunday, we will spend 90 minutes breaking down Tennessee versus Mississippi State. Then Tuesday, Marlon, Ollie, myself, and Daniel Hood. I love that show. We do the final words on the digital network. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I know that YouTube is made for short snippets and fun little quick cuts, and that's not what we do. We do long discussions and analysis, and that's what we have fun with. Check out the final word. It's the most fun show we do. No offense to this one or any of our others, but that is a laid-back, fun show. Hope you check it out. We'll see you next time right here on the Sports Source Digital Network.